Welcome to episode 3. In this episode, we'll be leaving from American Point, crossing Lake Saginaga, crossing the Canadian border, entering into Cache Bay, and stopping off at the ranger station. There, we'll pay our fees and get registered for our stay in the park.
Okay, just getting underway from American Point. Start our way to the ranger station at Cache Bay. We've got a nice, cool 60-degree morning. No substantial headwinds. Big deal.
Without a strong headwind, we'll make great time crossing over to the ranger station. What took us about an hour and a half in the last trip we made into Quetico will take us about 30 minutes. So that's a huge time saving for us. As we're paddling across Lake Saginaga, keep in mind that this is a 360 video. You can grab the screen and with the mouse and direct your view anywhere you want. You can see all the way around the lake. And most importantly, you can turn the camera around to view me. Depending on the viewer you have, you also can use the mouse wheel scrolling in and out to change the zoom, which will give you a wide panoramic view or a narrow focus.
Feels like the left side of the canoe is a little heavier than the right side of the canoe. I think the solution to that is next time we load this back bag, which is mine, we'll turn it the other way because the heavy end is on the bottom.
The other thing to note is the Garmin camera has a heads-up display capability that allows you to show data that the camera records as you're using it. And in this particular case, there are segments along our route from American Point to the ranger station where I'm videotaping, and that's those little bits that you're seeing, and the red dot indicates where we're at along that path. Now in this particular case, I didn't turn the camera on the whole distance so you don't see the whole track, but you see the specific segments that will be video recording. So it kind of gives you a sense how far along that path we are. And then it has the date and time. We could have elevation, we could have all kinds of other things, but for this particular trip I just stuck to these and I'm still just learning it. But it's kind of a cool feature because it allows you to track where you are relative to where you're headed. Now you can kind of see we just changed to the next clip and the dot moved forward. So that's what's going on there, and I'll have that heads-up display on at various times during the video so you know what that means.
Then once we get past the ranger station, we're gonna go on the other side of the island where the ranger station's on, and we go to that far shoreline, and that's where we get to the first portage, which is Silver Falls.
It feels nice.
It does. I was sweating. This is beautiful. This is, it couldn't be better. This is great. You're not sweating too much because of the cool. It's not blowing too much. Yeah, this is, couldn't be better.
I think I'll give you my action camera.
Do what?
My action camera.
Yeah.
Sometime when we're done here, I'll probably just give it to you. You can take it back.
Well, actually, I can offload your stuff directly. I got a little gizmo that will allow you to wirelessly tie into this terabyte of memory I have. And you just dump it all on there and keep your camera.
Photos ready by 4th of July?
What's that?
We had the photos ready by 4th of July?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
While we have clear sailing today and easily paddle across Cache Bay, this was not the case in 2017. In 2017, we faced 2-foot waves, a stiff headwind, and it took us about 4 times as long to cross this stretch of water. When the water gets rough, there is a real danger of capsizing. And in the temperature of the lake at this time, this can be a real risk. Hypothermia can quickly set in and turn your trip into a deadly adventure. So we have to be careful about that. We have to make sure that we are all wearing our life jackets. We have to have the load well balanced within the canoe, and we have to have a plan in case we capsize to get both of us back into the canoe safely as quickly as possible.
Okay, something.
All right. We made it to the ranger station. All right. Where are you going to tie us?
Just in the middle here.
Okay. Oh, I put my jacket on over the back of my seat here.
Oh, you were in. You got your seat.
All right.
Yeah, she's all like gone. Any radiation here, Dave?
There is. Be careful.
Oh, she does have the best little house in Quetico. Follow the gravel path, Mark.
I'm hoping
Past the ranger station.
right here.
Mark?
Yeah, I used it last time.
I'll show you the way. After I use it, you can use it. Oh, that's not good. Oh,
Wow, I'm stumbling here. Quetico Superior.
all right. The entry station.
When we arrive at the ranger station, there are 2 people getting checked in ahead of us. And we're not in a hurry, though, because everybody wants to test out the ranger station composting outhouse facility. So that's the first order of business.
Follow the path. All right. And a nice abode it is. Look at that. All right, guys, time for a little privacy.
This next bit of footage is recording of Janice Matichuk, who is the ranger on staff at Cache Bay, and she is telling some stories of people that she has rescued over the years. And as she's telling the stories, it occurs to me that I should record it, so I did. Hopefully she's not upset about that. Janice, if you're upset about that, let me know, and I'll cut it out of the video. But it just added to our adventure anyways, to understand how dangerous this trip actually can be if you're not careful with weather. It can be very treacherous, and Cache Bay, Lake Saginaw have taken human life. So you have to treat this trip with respect and pay attention to what's going on with the weather, because you can get yourself in trouble in a hurry, as Janice outlines in her stories, which you can listen to or fast forward past. In addition to hearing Janice's story, I wanted you to have the opportunity to get to know her a little bit, because she plays a significant role in events yet to unfold in the next episode.
He couldn't even expand as long as he was just getting really cold. And John, the one I knew, he was like this. He could hardly use his mouth. And so I'm giving them instructions, and I put my boat on the upside so the wind would blow me into them instead of away from them. And I've got a swimming ladder, which now I know is useless as tits on a bull, because I've got a V hull. So I hang it on the edge, and it goes right in like that.
Yeah.
And you're trying to climb
right.
on an angle. So
Yeah.
I've got a figure MacGyver or something on that.
Would it work more on the side and then you lean the other way?
It didn't matter. It's the curve of the boat. That's what I did. I got on the other gunnel and
It still is.
either
all
makes them
along,
stand
has that
off
V.
somehow off the bottom so it hits the hull and
Yep.
is more
I
perpendicular.
guess, yeah.
He could barely
Oh, yeah.
get in. And then I reached over and I grabbed him by his waistband, just forced him into the
There you
boat,
go.
pushed him into the hull.
Wow.
Then I'm trying to get John in. John and the other guy easily are 250. They just
Oh,
could not
man.
climb the ladder.
How many people?
3 in Minnesota 3.
Oh, wow.
So then I said, hang on to my gunnels. I'm going to motor to shore. And the one man was, I don't think I can do that. I just said, and I thought, man, if he slips off, he's just going to go under the boat. No matter how quick I kill that motor, the prop is still going to turn and chew him up. So I'm barking orders at them, come down to the gunnel right near me. And they eventually did, and they just hung on, and I went really slow to drag them to shore. And my motor wasn't starting very well, so I said to the guys, I don't want to turn my motor off because we're hooped if I can't get it going. So I've got to keep myself out.
You're
So the,
Here, who?
in trouble. Don't you know Canadian, eh? And I don't even remember how they got in because I was busy keeping the oar in the water to keep the prop in the deep water. Motor back here, get to the dock. When they got out, they could not walk. They were
believe it.
3 men on their hands and knees
I believe it.
crawling,
Yeah.
and that's when I realized it's warmer down there than in my cabin right now. So I ran and got blankets, cocooned them up, and I kept yelling for about 20 minutes or more, you okay? Everybody answer me, are you okay? And I get my wood stove going. I had them for almost 5 hours.
I believe it.
But your comment about doing, I can't do a, I
Well,
couldn't do a
believe it or not,
rescue.
you could. I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Not
but-
guys that are
because
250
think of it,
pounds.
if you dump, no, I'm saying, let's say me and you dumped and I'm 250. And if you do it in the first 5 minutes, we both get in that canoe.
But, and so even if you're sunk, you can be in the canoe and paddle
Well-
it sunk.
No, I wouldn't do it that way. So let's say we tip, and more than likely it's not sunk at that point. You tip, so you can either both get on, if the wind's coming this way, we both get on the opposite side, we rock the water
Yeah.
out. You can rock the water
Yeah.
out. If it's flipped the other way, we both go under, and we come up, we got a little air pocket.
Yeah.
We push up
pop
and
it.
over. Now, if it was me and you, I'd have you get in first
Yeah.
on the side. I'd hold the other side.
Yeah.
You pump
Yeah.
yourself up, and then you're in there. You lean back.
Yeah.
I get in. But if you do it in the first 5-10 minutes, you can do it. You wait 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not
Well,
gonna be able to do it.
they don't. I can do canoe over canoe rescues. I've done plenty
Yeah,
of those.
you can do it that way. So with 2 canoes,
Only
that's
2.
even better. That's
So
even
they
better.
were tipped up by Pictograph Point right here. And when they got blown by, that's when they saw the solar panels, realized where they were, and started screaming. And only one had the strength to yell.
That's what I mean.
He was the heaviest guy.
They're lucky because another 15 minutes.
Well, so what would you do? I'm just curious. They would have ended up on that shore somewhere.
Yeah.
So how would you help yourself? You have nothing except what you're wearing.
You start doing push-ups. You start running
Well, that's
around.
different people are saying if you're in the water that long and you do too much exercise, all your
could.
limbs
You
brings
could.
the cold water back to your heart and shocks you.
It depends how long you've been in there, what kind of condition you're
Yeah.
in, how good
Who's
is your
gonna
heart.
know? Who's gonna know?
I'm going to want to warm up the best I can.
Well, I thought of them 3 huddling together, find a hollow in the ground, cover with branches, moss,
Whatever it
whatever.
takes.
So anyway, I got them here, and then they, so the guy who was the skinniest, he went first. He was in worse shape.
Yeah.
And the guy who was the heaviest was the only one that had the strength to yell. On recovery, and I kept putting my hands down their feeling up their chest. I said, bet you didn't expect this, did you? The ranger station. And their feet.
Yeah.
And the guy who was skinniest recovered first, and the guy who was heaviest recovered last.
Could be just this shape.
Yep, oh, absolutely.
Whatever, yeah.
But it was,
But I'm telling
they
you.
were scared.
How did they get tipped over?
Huh?
The wind? Or
Yeah,
what?
they were going with the wind. I hate going with the wind,
Yeah.
especially if you're in a solo, because it throws you into the trough always.
Yeah.
Unless you're really good and you can keep the boat perpendicular and ride all the waves.
Yeah.
And that's two paddlers that know how to crossbow rudders, etc., to keep yourself perpendicular. But I'd much rather go into the wind for safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were, and they canceled their whole trip. They were just here one night.
Well, they're lucky. Like I said, another half an hour.
Yeah.
You're just dead. You know,
So
your hypothermia.
I had left, so I just quit, and then I got my radio won't work till I had the generator running again until I got my solar batteries in. And I was just whipping things off my shelves and more blankets and putting over their head all the time. Okay, I'm going to make tea, you guys. I don't like tea. You're drinking tea. With sugar.
Like tea.
With sugar.
We serve tea here.
Yeah, for the doofuses. But
Good for you.
and they
though.
don't even know how it happened. And John's the one who I've known. He said, Janice, this is our 25th anniversary. I said, oh, geez, I didn't get you anything. You saved my life.
Yeah, he owes you. I think he owes you one.
So he'd been coming 25 years ago with friends from Madison area. Then they couldn't come anymore. And he called me. We were 3,000 miles apart one winter. I really want to go to Quetico every year. How can I find a paddling partner? John, go solo. No, I can't do that. He's highly diabetic. He's kind of overweight. I said, but John, you've done 200-mile bike trips in the desert, man. You could do this. Like for me, water's my strength.
Yeah.
No water scares the hell out of me. And so it's just what your comfort zone is. So he did one. Now he's done about 25 solo trips. And he
good for him.
he came in late May and he went Sagnagons, Mac Lake, Walleyeg,
Oh, I
Bel Air,
like Mac.
Ferguson,
Yeah.
Cache Creek,
Yeah.
top end of Canoeing and down,
Okay.
solo in bad weather. And then he went out for a day, washes his underwear, restocks, and brought back the two San Diego guys.
Okay.
Then he plans to go out again. So he comes here and spends a month in Quetico.
Oh,
He
wow.
goes out just
So,
3 days.
what does he redo the permit every...
Yeah, he just goes back to Voyageurs, goes to town to do laundry, restocks food, and then picks up whoever else he's made his next trip arrangement with. So he drives from San Diego to Fulton, Illinois, somewhere where he lives, where his family is, where all his gear is,
Yeah.
and then goes in and out 4 times, and 2 solo trips and 2 with people.
Oh, very cool.
So he's really trying to get younger folks. He's 61 now.
Okay.
Yeah, but those guys were... And then they came around. Like the worst case I had was when I lost one guy. He drowned
Yeah,
out
that
there.
was quite a few
They
years
were-
ago, right?
One guy couldn't see or talk.
Yeah.
He was looking at me, but through me.
I
It
believe
was bizarre.
Yeah.
I was looking at his eyes, and I could tell he
Hypothermia is
couldn't
bad.
focus, and he could not talk. He was just like this, and I'm yanking off all their clothes and.
Throw him in the shower.
Well, I did, and I had 5 of them.
Yeah.
I saved 5.
Yeah.
And then I was told, don't do that again.
Did just one lose? Did you just...
One drowned
died?
and got 5.
Did he the guy who drowned, did he not wear his PFD? or
2
what was-
didn't. The 2, no, he didn't. But they were also on the lake. It was so severe, it almost flipped my motorboat.
Yeah,
It
that's
was,
pretty windy.
they made a bad decision.
But to even
And-
not wear a PFD, if you're going to be
Yeah.
out there, at least put the damn
And
PFD
they were,
on.
the angels were with them because the wind was horrific wind going that way.
And you barely heard him, right?
And I went to the outhouse, and I heard a boop, boop, just like that, not louder. Huh, that sound doesn't belong in the bush. And I looked up at all the trees to see if they were going boop, boop, in the wind.
Yeah.
And I stood out here and I'm peering because it was nasty, bad, spitting rain, huge waves, solid gray. I couldn't see a thing. And it was just intuition. They were out in the U.S. side, way past Cache.
Wow. And you could
Well,
you.
two guys got washed up to this island. They'd been screaming for hours.
See, I carry a whistle now. I mean, so in
And it blows
whitewater.
in the wet?
Well, yeah, it'll blow wet or not, but we'll use it in whitewater because you can't hear over the
Yeah.
rapids. But, and I would recommend anyone doing this on a windy day too,
Yeah.
because that would get your attention. But it's amazing. You heard someone
Could,
on
it
the
was
way
by the
around
grace of God.
yeah.
And I didn't see a thing. I just chose to go out. And I had a cast on my leg because I broke a bone in my foot, so I had to waterproof my cast with our garbage bags and duct taped it here. Bail and bail and bail and bail the boat because we had so much rain. And I'm just pounding out there. My son was only 10 or 11, and I'm sure I never even thought about this till just recently. Leaf is now 30. But there's an 11-year-old alone on the island. Mom? Going out in the lake, I'm gone for 45 minutes. He can't see me. Is she coming back?
Yeah, especially on windy conditions.
And then I came around that island loaded with 5 guys, and he immediately got the wood stove going and put the kettle on.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, they were severe. And it took 3 days for our police divers to find the 21-year-old. He was 110 feet deep.
Wow. Doesn't
Oh,
give up.
boy.
It's bad.
No.
It's like
And Sag
Superior.
goes to
Pretty cold.
2 feet short of 300 feet deep.
Wow.
Out just past
Wow.
the island. And Cache Bay's deepest point, Silver Falls Channel, is 130 feet.
Is it really?
Wow.
Yeah, this is a cold, deep lake.
I knew it was deep, but I didn't think that channel was that deep.
Apparently, yep. And well, a guy with fish finder, I was really curious. It's 118 off Cache Point. And like it goes to 40 feet right off my dock, like right now. And yeah, it's big holes in there.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so come on in.
Yeah, it's good
So
to see you again.
everybody in this group has been to Cache Bay.
While you wait in the lobby, you can browse over a lot of the photographs and pictures that Janice has collected over the years that relate to the park. You can also look through a series of log books and storybooks that are relevant to the park, and it's a great way to pass the time while you wait. Once we pay our fees and get our permits, we head back down to the pier, get back in the canoes, and set off for Silver Falls. In 2017, this leg of the trip was pretty rough. Today, though, we expect it to be pretty smooth. This brings us to the end of episode 3. Episode 4 will detail our trip to Silver Falls as well as the portage across Silver Falls and on to the next. So stay tuned, YouTubers, for episode 4.